I just want to cover this news item here. Recently, we've discovered that Johnson's baby powder contains asbestos, a form of asbestos, and it has been causing cancer, and especially cervical cancer and ovarian cancer in women, because this stuff makes its way into our body. It's really serious, you know. And simultaneously, we've also discovered that this non-stick stuff that's in pans has it's got these chemicals leaching out of it that accumulate in our bodies that we don't never leave our bodies, and are also cancer causing. I mean, recently I've been checking out ceramic pans. I don't really cook very much anyway, you know. Being vegan, wheat free, so I've probably got minimal amount of that stuff in my body anyway. But it's you know, these things are really serious, and so I'm going to once again draw on juxtaposition to explain to people the urgency with which we need to get real and get awake and get aware now, because I'm just going to make a couple of points here. Now, last year there was this problem, wasn't there, with this alleged Russian nerve gas that had been used against two British citizens of Russian origin. Well, one of them was a man and his daughter who were living in Britain. They were British citizens, and it was alleged by the British government, though one has to say with barely a shred of evidence, that Russia had, you know, Russian intelligence itself had sent this nerve gas to these people, and then suddenly, you know, 33 Russian diplomats were expelled and everybody was condemning Russia, even though there was no evidence whatsoever that this stuff had been produced in Russia. In fact, all the evidence pointed to the very likely that it came from Britain, and if indeed it was nerve gas at all, though apparently the people who were affected by it were quite ill. So, you know, realistically, on the balance of probabilities, it did seem a bit like it was what's called a staged, a false flag event in order to justify furthering this Cold War with Russia that's been covertly ongoing for the last few years, especially since Russia has sided with Iran and Syria and now Venezuela. And but regardless of what you think about whether Russia really was responsible for this nerve gas, even though we didn't have a shred of evidence, you know, it didn't have "Made in Russia" stamped on it, did it? Nonetheless, there was instant action taken, and Theresa May was very, "We will not have British citizens' lives threatened and put at risk," and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And instantly, these 33 Russian diplomats were packed off home. Well, now we've just found out that Johnson's baby powder has got asbestos in it. And this stuff that's being used to make non-stick pans is actually really dangerous. And no matter how perfectly intact it is, that stuff, the chemicals in it, are leaching out into your food and accumulating in our body and damaging our health to the extent it can be fatal. Oh, what's happening to the corporation then? Because, you know, Johnson's baby powder is a corporate product, as is Teflon. The corporate products, what's happened to them? This stuff's still on the shelves, on the supermarket shelves, Johnson baby powder. Okay. Now, just flick into this here. Mark Steele, absolutely brilliant guy. Been exposing 5G. He knows all about it, okay? He's a military guy. He understands exactly what he's talking about. And I'll leave you the link to this video. This stuff is really dangerous. There's no two ways about it. But they're not going to test it. They're not going to study it. They're just going to ramp it out like they did with Johnson's baby powder. Like they did with asbestos. Like they did with the Teflon stuff that's on the non-stick pans. Yeah, we don't want our bacon to stick to the pan. Here you go, look, make this non-stick stuff, and oh, look, it's brilliant. You can make eggs and sausage and nothing sticks to it. Oh, by the way, years down the line we found out it's giving us cancer. We don't need years down the line because we've already got the information off the scientists who have been studying this technology and who are telling us, look, it's damaging birds, it's damaging insects, it's damaging trees, it's damaging human beings, it's actually dangerous, and as Mark Steele explains, it is actually a weapon. And they want these things outside people's homes, even against the manufacturer's regulations. And even it's so serious, the information that is telling us that this is dangerous, that there's no insurance company on this earth will insure 5G. None of it's insured. None of it. Because apparently there's too much liability there for an insurance company's comfort. Really? Oh, but that's alright. Our councils are like, yeah, bring it on. You know, if I want to do anything in public, I've got to go and get a public liability licence. But these guys, yeah, bring in your 5G corporation. Yeah, bring it on, corporation. This is what I mean, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of the world, of straining at the gnat while swallowing the camel. That people have been using this stuff on their babies. People are cooking babies' food, their children's food, in Teflon pans. Where is Theresa May? I will not have British citizens' lives put at risk. This 5G outside your window could be damaging your unborn baby, causing your child to have nosebleeds, inflicting all kinds of damage. But where's Theresa May? I will not have British citizens' lives put at risk. Where is the expellation of these corporate products? Why haven't they been removed instantly from our shelves? That's the thing about corporations though, isn't it? There's nobody accountable. We'll just get a set of lawyers, and our lawyers all battle it out with their lawyers, and they'll have it in court, and then it'll be blah blah blah, and this much compensation paid to people, and slowly we'll stop using it, we'll start moving it off the supermarket shelves, and so it goes on. Only because we the people let it. Only because we the people allow it. If you've got Johnson's baby powder in your cupboard, please wrap it up in a plastic bag and put it in your bin. Make sure it's a sealed plastic bag. Put it in your bin. It's dangerous. If you're using Teflon cooking pans, have a look at ceramic coated cooking pans. Replace them. Ceramic coating does just as well as the Teflon actually. Get yourself some ceramic coated pans. They're not expensive. You can buy them for what, 20 odd quid or something. As a frying pan and a couple of pans, they'll be 21 quid, 25 quid, something like that. If you look online. You know, act. Do something immediately. In the same way that, you know, Theresa May is going to, oh yeah, when when she wants a Cold War with Russia. Oh, immediately, yes, go away, Russian diplomats. And that is, this is the attitude that we need now with this corporation, and we need to put our foot down. We need to put our foot down with this 5G. Because we have the benefit of hindsight. We know that these corporations roll out products that then later we find out were really dangerous and actually deadly. Even Johnson's baby powder. And we're going to tolerate this? No. These corporations need to be held to account. There can be nobody on this planet above the law. And if the corporation is going to be a person, then it shall be treated like a person, and it shall be tried and convicted like a person for damaging the persons of earth. And there shall be trials, and people will go to jail. If necessary, if people knew and ignored the evidence. Now we know, no corporation that's rolling out 5G now can say, oh, we didn't know that it was dangerous. Sorry, how many scientists, hundreds of scientists have come forward with their studies and research explaining in no uncertain terms that this stuff is dangerous. To such a degree that Lloyd's refuses to insure it. And in fact, there's not one insurer on the planet who will insure 5G. Okay? So they know what they're doing. And this is a threat, okay? And it is more than a threat, isn't it? In a lot of places, in a lot of countries where it's already been rolled out. It is there, inflicting its damage against people. I'm sorry, it needs to be halted in its tracks, just as Johnson's baby powder needs immediately to be removed off all the shelves. We need all to discard our Teflon cooking pans and replace them. Like I say, ceramic. You can get ceramic coated pans. Yes, the aluminium, which, yeah, we know you don't cook in aluminium, but they're coated in ceramic, so you're not going to get any aluminium leaching through the ceramic. There are alternatives, and we need to act quickly. And every politician, every councillor that agrees to have this 5G rolled out in their land, in their towns, you are complicit in a crime against humanity, because you are agreeing to subject the people of your council or nation to dangerous microwave energy. And not just the people, but the insects and the birds and the trees. And in fact, trees are being chopped down across Britain specifically in order to make way for 5G. All over Britain, trees. Apparently, there's a problem with too much CO2 in the air, that trees absorb tons of it every year. But that's alright. When it comes to 5G, we'll forget about that CO2 problem and just get this 5G up quick. No, we need to wake up now. I tell you, these are very, very, very serious times. When you've got the whole world telling such lies against Venezuela that they will actually turn their backs on democracy, these so-called civilised Western leaders. Sorry, no. There's something really bad going down. And we need to get strong. Yeah, it's scary. But I tell you, for me, confronting a problem, challenging okay, standing up for a child's rights to live in a healthy environment, to me, it's scary. If I don't do anything, I'm scared. If I don't do anything, I'm scared if I don't speak out. I'm scared. I'd be scared not to support Mark Steele. You know? What scares me is when people's ignorance scares me. People's apathy scares me. That's what scares me. Not the threat. Because a threat can be dealt with. It's the fact that people ignore it. People's fear of speaking out scares me. That's what's scary. Because it all amounts to consent. The fear, the apathy, the ignorance, the silence equals consent. Well, I don't give my consent. Neither does Mark Steele, and neither do lots of people, and we are speaking out. Why are we still a whisper? Why? Where are you councillors? Where are you MPs? Where are you health professionals that were all there warning us, you know, putting huge big signs on packets of tobacco, smoking kills? Really? Well, you know, you need to slap it on Johnson's baby powder. You need to slap it on Teflon. You need to slap it on 5G.